In the early hours of August 8th, 1963, Britain awoke to one of the most daring and infamous heists in history, the Great Train Robbery. The crime unfolded against the backdrop of a post-war nation where money still moved in bulk by rail, making trains like the Glasgow to London Royal Mail Express an irresistible target. At the heart of this audacious plan was Bruce Reynolds, a charismatic career criminal with a taste for big scores. Reynolds had grown tired of small-time jobs. He wanted something that would leave a mark, something that would set him apart in criminal history. With meticulous care, he assembled a team of seasoned criminals, many of them with military backgrounds or experience in high-stakes robberies. Among them were Gordon Goody, Buster Edwards, Charlie Wilson, and Ronnie Biggs, names that would soon become notorious across the United Kingdom. The plan began with weeks of surveillance. The gang discovered that on certain nights, the Royal Mail train carried unusually large sums of money, sometimes over £2 million, the equivalent of more than £50 million today. Reynolds knew the risk was enormous, but so was the reward. To pull it off, they would need not only precision, but also boldness. The gang set up base in a farmhouse near the tracks, turning it into their temporary headquarters. They studied the timing of the train, rehearsed their moves, and prepared equipment. One of the most daring aspects of the plan was the decision to tamper with the railway signals. With the help of an insider, the robbers devised a way to switch the green signal to red, forcing the train to stop at a predetermined location near Ledburn, Buckinghamshire. On that fateful night, the gang put their plan into motion. As the train approached the signal, it slowed to a halt in the darkness. Wearing balaclavas and gloves, the robbers moved swiftly. They overpowered the driver, Jack Mills, who was struck and left with a head injury that would affect him for the rest of his life. The robbers uncoupled the first two carriages, the engine and the mail van, while others kept watch. Inside the mail coach, postal workers were stunned as the gang stormed in. Bag after bag of banknotes was loaded into vehicles waiting nearby. The operation was executed in just 30 minutes. Yet in that half hour, the robbers had stolen an astonishing £2.6 million. It was the largest cash robbery in British history at the time. But while the heist itself was a success, the aftermath quickly unraveled. The gang retreated to their hideout at Leatherslade Farm, where they celebrated their success and divided the money. However, their excitement turned into carelessness. They left behind fingerprints, food wrappers, and other evidence that would later lead the police directly to them. The nationwide manhunt that followed was unprecedented. Scotland Yard launched Operation Robbery, deploying hundreds of officers to track down the culprits. One by one, members of the gang were captured. Their trials became a media sensation, with the public fascinated by both the scale of crime and the daring personalities of those involved. Sentences were harsh. Most of the captured robbers received 25 to 30 years in prison. Yet, the story did not end there. In 1965, Ronnie Biggs, one of the most famous members of the gang, escaped from Wandsworth Prison by scaling a wall with a rope ladder. His flight to freedom captivated the world. Biggs eventually fled to Brazil, where he lived for decades as a fugitive, giving interviews and even recording a song with the Sex Pistols before finally returning to UK in 2001. The Great Train Robbery left an indelible mark on British history. It was more than just a theft. It became a symbol of audacity and rebellion, glamorized in films, books, and endless retellings. Yet, Behind the legend was a violent reality. Postal workers traumatized, a train driver injured, and families torn apart by long prison sentences. More than 60 years later, the Great Train Robbery remains a chilling reminder of how carefully laid plans can both succeed and collapse in equal measure. It was a crime that shocked the nation, embarrassed the authorities, and forever cemented its place in the annals of true crime history. Subscribe for more true crime stories.